It's about 4 acres up top here, the whole fenced in, and then it goes about another acre down to the stream. Beets are actually coming in, so I can probably send you some beets and then sweet potatoes there, and then the spring mix is going well right now.
Going really well. At first, you think about what it is as a chef, what you want to make, and when you're young, and then you think, okay, where am I going to get the ingredients to do it? And that's all backwards. It really should be, what ingredients do I have, and now that you have them, what are you going to make with it? Always discovering new things is inspiring.
We got the Marlboro spinach.
I always see this at the farmer's market, and I've never used it. You wouldn't recommend eating it raw, but
you're going
it goes straight in my mouth. It's got a little lemony kind of thing going on. Oh, man.
And yeah, and like when you saute it, it's even better. But, so.
I know what I'm going to cook tonight. When I cook, it's really just about what comes in the back door that day, doing as little as possible to it. It's really letting quality ingredients speak for themselves. I've been told that Hawaii is the endangered species capital of the world. That is a result of being the invasive species capital of the world. To'au, which is a snapper, roi, and ta'ape, 3 fish that were brought into Hawaiian waters in the 50s and 60s to provide an alternative to what we had become accustomed to eating. Some fishermen get it with just hook and line right off the back of their boat, and then free divers like Kimmy and others, they'll go down and they spear it. Cool.
Ta'ape are an issue. You can see it for yourself the minute you're underwater. They compete with native fish for habitat. They are literally just like pushing other fish out of their homes because they take over. They also compete with native fish for food. And then as they get bigger, they also just start eating native fish.
There's times where it's just a sea of gold with blue stripes. It's amazing when I've gone out how many of these fish we've seen.
He connects the eater to the source. Through his menus and the beautiful food that he makes, he's not just feeding people and sharing food, but he's sharing the stories.
So I thought we'd do some grilled whole and some actually filleted. We could, as chefs, just get ta'ape and put it on a plate. I don't think that would do any good. It wouldn't make an impact. I think these stories that go along with the food have been able to open people's eyes to where it came from, why it's important to eat it, who ate it before. So this is the ulu, or breadfruit. It's one of my favorite vegetables. So this is just going to accompany the ta'ape.
Ed is definitely one of the main chefs in Hawaii who started like this true movement. It's more than just farm to table or sea to table. He's somebody who took these ingredients that are so important to Hawaii and were getting completely neglected. And he put them on the menu in a way that made them exciting and bright and intriguing. I think a lot of times when we think of invasive species and the need to eradicate them, we really start to look at them so much as being these pests. The whole idea of it sounds unappetizing. But if we look at these same issues, whether it's access deer or whether it's ta'ape, just being these super responsible, delicious, healthy food choices, I think that's really going to be what turns us around.
A lot of chefs open restaurants because they love to cook. And I do love to cook and I love food, but really for me, it's more about the community that a restaurant builds.
He started something, he was tenacious about it. But 16 years ago, it was unheard of. When I walked into his restaurant, like that very first time, I was blown away. And when I look at how he's transformed our community since, I feel very in awe of him.
I was born and raised in Honolulu, a stone's throw that way. My parents were actually entertainers back in the 50s and 60s, you know, the swooner era of Waikiki. It was a really special time in Waikiki. My mom was such a good cook, and we had one of those homes where kids would congregate. We always had an open door policy at our house, and my mom would always feed people. It was really about coming together and eating as a family or with friends. And the food, although it's incredible, was almost secondary. When it was time to open a restaurant, I knew that this is where I wanted to be. It's where I wanted to make roots, raise a family, and start our business. A lot of relationships have been forged in these four walls.